This week, I was working with a new student who had one clear goal in mind. She wants a convincing British accent. Not because she needs it, not because somebody is telling her to, but because she loves it. It complements her personality and her life here now in the UK. And that's important. We all have different reasons for learning an accent, right? It's your choice. In this lesson, we put accent reduction aside, and we decided to focus on the most important components that make us sound more British when we speak. So today I'm going to give you a very clear plan so that after this you can start sounding more British if you want to. And number one isn't a sound, it's a question. Why? Why do you want a convincing British accent? If you think it's because you need one to be accepted or you think it's something you must have, stop. Trust me. Work on clarity first, accent reduction, work on your confidence. But if you love the British accent, if it suits your personality, or if you just think, why not? I'll just learn it, then you're in the right place. I find my best students who progress the fastest are the ones who are enjoying the experience, who are doing it for fun and because they love it, not because they feel like they have to. Once you're clear on that, we can move on to step 2, which is the first sound. It's the R. In standard Southern British pronunciation, or modern RP, we don't pronounce the R if it comes at the end of a word or if it's before a consonant sound. So for example, we don't say car, we say car. We don't say teacher, we say teacher. We don't say work, we say work. So there's no strong R at the end of words, and also no R's being pronounced before consonants. Service, work, short, father, doctor. This immediately takes away any American from your accent if you're influenced by American, and you'll instantly start sounding more British. It's a key component to the accent. However, we do connect our speech with an R. So for example, if we have the word teacher and the next word is, that next word begins with a vowel. So it would become the teacher is. We'll use the R to connect to the vowel. However, if it's the teacher was, we're not going to pronounce the R. So remember, the R loves vowels. It will always be pronounced when it comes before a vowel sound. We have a few key sounds which replace the R, and it's good to know them. So one of them is the schwa sound, teacher. We have the sound, like in work. This is a long vowel. We have two other long vowels, course, or, and R, car. We also have diphthongs, which are two vowels joining together. Ear in here and air in where. There is one other diphthong, which is like in pure. However, in modern RP, we just replace this with an or sound, so we'd say pure. Easy. Practice pronouncing these sounds and using them to replace the R. Sentence. The doctor was very clear. The doctor was very clear. Sound 2 is a sound I actually just mentioned, but it has more layers to it. I'm pushing the tip of my tongue down and sliding it back slightly. Ah, ah, and that's the sound. The throat is more open, and that's what makes it sound so buttery smooth. Instead of ask, ask. Instead of answer, answer. After, half, half. Chance, chance. Dance, dance. And there are more. There's a specific list of words and they're quite random. Sentence. I can't answer that after class. I can't answer that after class. This next sound is another sound that really replaces us from the Americans, and that sound is oh, like in not and hot. Notice how my lips are rounding slightly. Oh. In American English, it's a little bit more open, more of an ah, like na instead of not. So think tighter and more rounded when you pronounce this sound, and nice and short. Here are some very common words which can make a big difference. What, not, watch, a lot, hot, often, office, oh. Sentence: I got a lot of work done. I got a lot of work done. Always said this about this sound. It screams British. It's a big one, trust me. We're heading over to say hi to some consonants now. Now this one is very important, especially for that standard Southern RP British accent. Pronounce your T's. Most of the time. The main thing I want to say here is Americans, Australians, some other accents, they have this thing called a flap T. A flap T is when you pronounce the T a little bit more like a D. So instead of saying better, it might sound a bit more like better with this D sound, right? Better. This D, this flap, ideally this sound wouldn't happen in a modern RP accent and we would try to pronounce our T's here. And don't listen to those videos where people are saying, all British people say, bottle of water. I always have to do that voice when I say bottle of water. Yeah, give me a bottle of water, mate. Trust me, that's only one kind of area of the UK. Most of the time, we're pronouncing our T's or doing something different. Better, water, city, pretty. You can hear that crispiness, the way that T gets pushed out very smoothly. City, city, t, t. It's just a soft breath. Sentence: I need to get a lot of work done. I need to get a lot of work done. I want to be better at writing. I want to be better at writing. Keep it sharp. This sharpness adds structure to the accent and it makes it just sound that little bit more defined. On that note, let's talk about the glottal T. I just did it there. About the glottal T. This is when we cut the T out of our speech by tightening our vocal cords. So instead of saying not with that clean T, I might say not. Now I'm not just removing the T and saying no. I am tightening my vocal cords. So at the end of that O sound, O, I'm tightening my throat and cutting the sound away. This is very, very distinctive to British accents. And yes, it does happen in modern RP. Not in classic old school RP, but definitely in modern RP. So it's something worth considering because it does really, honestly, create more of a British effect. But use it strategically. When you're speaking fast and you have those short, boring words. I just did it then, short. I didn't say short, I said short. So words like not, you could say not. A lot. Get. Right. Used naturally, this sounds very British, but where people fall into a trap is when they make it sound too obvious. Try not much instead of saying not much. Instead of not today. That man could become that man. Have fun and play with it. But only at the end of words, ideally, for now. No, go, and show. Oh, we're moving between two sounds here. Watch my mouth. Oh. We start in the middle of the mouth, and then we glide into more of a round shape at the end. Oh. There's a very clear movement here between the two sounds. Oh. Here are some very common words where this sound really matters. Don't. Go. Home. No. Open. Only. Over. Sentence. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go. So just to quickly recap, if you want to sound that little bit more British and to have that effect in your speech, even if it's mixed with some of your non-native accent, these are the things that will really help you get going. The R. Don't pronounce strong R's at the end of words or when they come before consonant sounds. The long R sound in those words that are very distinctive like can't, last and fast. The rounded O vowel has that very British effect. Not, hot, pot. And that glide between oo, o in go and no. Again, very British. Make sure your T's are nice and clear. But don't forget you can glottalize, and I usually recommend at the end of words Maybe not in the middle when we're saying things like bottle of water. If you apply these consistently, people will notice that shift in your accent. But remember, this is about 50% of the process. Sounding natural isn't just about individual sounds. It's about stress, rhythm, intonation, and of course, some of the sounds which are very strong in your accent, which you may need to reduce. Which is why I always say accent reduction should be the first thing that you look at before you start trying to go all crazy and sound like the Queen. Take these sounds, practice them slowly, and apply them to words you use in your day-to-day life. And if you need structured guidance on this and support from a professional who's been doing this for more than 10 years now, I do private coaching, I have a course, you can check out my website, the link's in the description below. Otherwise, keep practicing and I'll see you next time. Again, make sure you're doing all of this for the right reason.